Hi, everybody. I'm Andrew Hutchings, and I'm not a doctor, but today I'm here to tell you a bit about stimulants. Stimulants are often found in pre workout supplements. There's various different kinds, but at the end of the day, they all do something along the same lines, which is raising your norepinephrine, which is like adrenaline. You've probably heard of adrenaline for your fight or flight response. Gets you going. Maybe you've heard of, like, if a woman had her car come on top of her kid and she's able to lift the car up because she has a lot of adrenaline. Well, that may be exaggerated, but it gets the idea across. And it does allow you to do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do because I won't get into too much detail, but the signal from your brain to your muscle and its contraction and everything is much stronger than it normally would be. The downside is, well, there's a lot of downsides, but stimulants raise your blood pressure and your heart rate, which is good when you're in moderation, good in moderation when you're in the gym, because higher blood pressure, higher heart rate means more oxygen in blood to your muscles, so they're able to work better. Um, yeah, it enhances your performance. Now, the downside is if your blood pressure or your heart rate goes too high, you can have a heart attack. Now, that's short term, meaning that if you were to take, I don't know how many scoops of that pre workout or whatever your stimulant is, that you do run a higher risk of having a heart attack right then and there. However, there's also the long term consequences. Long term, since they raise blood pressure, if your blood pressure is constantly elevated above a certain point, it starts to damage the walls of your arteries and your veins. Think of it as a balloon or something, and if you stretch it out too much, it eventually, stops getting small and like it gets messed up. But unlike a balloon, our arteries and our blood vessels in general, they can form scar tissue and other things. I'm not going to get into the details, but basically, when your blood pressure is elevated for a prolonged amount of time, it damages the walls of those blood vessels and they become stiff. And when they become stiff, they don't stretch as well, meaning that the next time you have a spike in your blood pressure, that instead of stretching nicely like it's supposed to, it might just snap. That's not good. That can be life or death. That can be the end of you. So, lesson here is be careful with stimulants. If you're going to use them, try to limit it to a few days a week. But remember, I'm not a doctor, and none is best. No stimulants at all is always best. No drugs at all is always best. Your body is the way it's meant to be. It's not meant to be altered. It doesn't want to be altered. But if it has to be, you want to limit it. The shortest amount of time that you can take those stimulants to get the benefits in the gym is the best. Because if you take them all the time, like I said, it ends up damaging your arteries from the high blood pressure. Other things raise your blood pressure too, like some steroids. Some steroids, which convert into a lot of estrogen, lead to water retention. That excess water is also in your blood. And more water in your blood means the blood takes up more space. Now, your blood vessels are the same size, but there's more stuff inside them now. So that means higher blood pressure. So once again, if you were to take steroids all the time, the kind that convert to lots of estrogen, you're going to have higher blood pressure and arterial damage over time. On top of that, there's lots of different reasons, but all those aside, it's been shown that anabolic steroids increase your risk of having a heart attack by quite a lot. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, so don't quote me, but I think around 2 to 3 times more likely. Yeah, I hope that gave you some nice, useful information that you can use to improve your life, live healthier, more safely, or however you want to incorporate it. And feel free to give me more ideas for videos, and I'll gladly make them. Please like and subscribe somewhere down here or here.